All right, 2019 will be remembered for a lot of things, but for us here in the Sunshine State, it was the year Florida man took center stage nationwide, spawning memes, websites, and general online hilarity. Well, one man who has made it a part of his job to keep us up to date with these outlandish but true tales is Tampa Bay Times columnist Craig Pittman, who is back with the year in review.
Yep.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too.
Do you ever get surprised by these stories? You've been doing it so long. I can't imagine anything surprises you.
Well,
it's got to still entertain you, though.
There are new twists on old things sometimes, and that's always a nice
There's
surprise.
always a gator story in there.
Yeah. The woman that she had 41 turtles in her Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle backpack, and they said, "Do you have anything else?" And she said yes, and reached into her yoga pants and pulled out a foot-long alligator. That was a surprise.
Oh. So let's go back to because I kind of forgot about this in 2019, where it was this big Google search where you were encouraged to put in your name.
Yes, and
was
Florida
it the
man.
month? Yeah.
Not your name, but your date of birth.
Date of birth.
And
that's
then Florida man, and it would call up headlines from that particular date, and some of them were really funny, and some of them were kind of tragic.
Oh.
So then there was this pushback from people saying, "Well, it's not right to laugh about those," but how can you not laugh about some of the stuff that happens? I mean, it's just we're a state where we're the only state where mermaids are on the state payroll.
That is true. Well, and let's go back to that. I know that we've discussed this before, but why does Florida, do you think, seem to have these outlandish stories? We know other states have them as well,
yes.
But it's one of those things, you hear something on TV or on the radio and you go, oh, is it going to be in Florida? Is it going to be in Florida? And 9 times out of 10 you go, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
Well, there's a few reasons. One is we've undergone this wrenching demographic change in Florida. We used to be the least populated southern state before World War II, and now we're the third most populous state.
Okay, so we just have a lot more people.
We have a lot more people,
the ratio's in our favor.
And we're not evenly spread out. We're kind of crammed in that 30-mile wide swath along the coast and along I-4 where the theme parks are. So you put that many people together in that small a place, they're bound to start, ramming into each other's cars and chasing each other with machetes and arguing over whose dog pooped on whose lawn.
Or, hearing about toilets exploding, which you said that was kind of the biggest one for you this year, do you think?
It was it was the one that really made the most national headlines, where this family, they woke up in the middle of the night, they heard
Where
this.
was this in Florida?
It was in, I want to say, Punta Gorda.
Okay.
Or Cape Coral. They heard this enormous explosion and went running into the bathroom and discovered that lightning had hit their septic tank and touched off the methane gas that had built up inside, and it opened up all their pipes and made their toilet explode into a million pieces. And the woman said, well, at least nobody was sitting on it.
Very true, right?
Yes.
We've learned to
look on the bright side.
The bright side of things. We'll talk about animals too. We were talking about, there was a funny dog one. There's always dog ones.
Yes, the dog that climbed into the car while it was running and somehow knocked it into gear so that the car started circling this cul-de-sac backwards, and it kept going for an hour because nobody knew how to stop it. They finally called the fire department.
So I have my own funny Florida story.
Really?
So several years ago, our family beagle, I had the babies. This is when they were really tiny in the back seat, and my dog actually locked them in the car. I had to call 911 and get firemen to come and help me unlock. It was horrible, but we lived and survived.
911 operators in Florida, I'm convinced, get to hear the best stories.
And then you just get to report on.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, hey, let's talk about your next project.
Sure.
Because this is pretty cool. It's a little different.
Yes.
You're focusing on something in particular.
Yes. It's a book called Cattail, and it's about the effort to save the Florida panther. And nobody's ever told the whole story before.
Really?
They nearly went extinct in the mid-90s, and the way you would normally try to save an endangered species, which is captive breeding, wouldn't work, because they had genetic defects from inbreeding.
Oh, okay.
So they had to try this experiment they'd never tried before, bringing in a sort of a cousin of the Florida panther, Texas cougars, and turning them loose so they would breed with the panthers and revive the species. And it worked, to everyone's surprise. But then there were other ramifications.
Yeah, why was this something that you really wanted to highlight and thought, you know what, it needs some attention?
Well, I've been covering Florida Panthers for about 20 years, and I've been wishing I could write the whole story because nobody had told it before. But I needed a good ending, and finally got a good ending.
Okay,
So
good.
I was able to write it then.
Well, when is the beginning? When is it coming out? When can we get our hands on it?
I have my first book signing at Haslam's Books in St. Petersburg on
Okay.
January 19th
All
at 2
right.
p.m. and I hope everybody shows up.
Okay, sounds good. We'll make sure and put details on our website. Always so good to see
Great
you.
seeing
Come
you.
back anytime, and I'm sure 2020 is going to provide a lot for
Oh,
us to look back on
absolutely.
again.
We have an extra leap day to do
Oh,
more
that's
weird
right.
stuff.
Yes. Who knows? Who knows what 2020 will bring? Thank
Right.
you so much.
My pleasure.